Good morning, everyone. My name is Michel Nicolai. I'm the Senior Regional Sales Engineer for Middle East. My apologies for the delay on this webinar. We had some issues to provide you the correct link to anticipate this. So thanks again for your patience. So let's start as quickly as possible. Today we talk about our wireless connectivity solutions from an hospitality point of view. We talk about our wireless products and our solutions. We have a video at the end of one of our bigger installations we done on wireless. If you have any questions during the webinar, please use the chat. We can use the chat to discuss the topics I mentioned in the presentation, and also afterwards we have the possibility to talk verbally, so you can open up your mic and we can talk if you want after the video I showed you at the end of the presentation. So thanks again. So let's start. Before I'll talk about products, let's talk a little bit about our brand. Zyxel. Zyxel has been in the industry for quite some time. Yeah, we have some experience already for over 30 years. We started off with selling modems, and we built our product line to the product lines we have today with modems, switches, gateways, DSLAMs, GPON products, and all kinds of network related products. So in those 30 years, we established to serve over 150 global markets and creating over 100 million global connections worldwide. And if you look at the split in revenue we have worldwide, then you see that our EMEA region, where Middle East is a part of, is taking care of 53% of our total revenue. That's quite special. If you know that Zyxel is originally a company based in Taiwan in Asia. So when we started, our main area where we sold our product was Asia, but that shifted completely to the EMEA market. And the big benefit why we are quite successful in this region is because we deliver a good quality and good value for money, what we have in our portfolio today. So if we look at our three pillars of products we have today, one pillar is the telco service provider customers we have. So we deal directly with the telcos like Do, like Vodafone, like the global players in the market, where we sell all kinds of products to directly. So that's one of our pillars. The main focus we do today is on the middle one, the business connectivity. We have large expertise in selling these products in this area. And then also we have a last pillar, the connected home. So it's more the consumer products that we sell today. So that part we skip. We focus on the middle one, and then we focus on wireless in a few minutes. So if you look at Zyxel is more or less a technical driven company. We are not as sleek marketing like Apple, but we are based in Taiwan, as I said. Most of our people are engineers or technical support engineers to develop our products and to support you guys as a reseller to help you to do the installation of our products. So our global R&D center, our headquarters is in Taiwan. Then we have two subsidiaries, one in Germany in Europe, one in the US, and And then we have over 150 technical support engineers globally that support all our customers in the world. So before we talk about products, I think it's good to know that we have some added value as a brand to you as a customer. I will just go through a few of them. Bid support, it's important if you have a good opportunity or project and you think you can win this project with the with our products, but you are fighting on price, then there's always possibility that we can help you out and try to give you the best possible pricing to win your project. So that's one thing where you can get this bid. You can contact, of course, your local distributor or our office we have in Dubai, and also we have salespeople in Saudi Arabia as well. So that's our bid support. Then on the right hand side in green, the lifetime warranty. That's quite special what we offer to you as a customer, because as long as it's on the price file, you have warranty on the product. That means if it's faulty, you return it back to your distributor and you get a replacement from them. Yeah, after it's not available anymore from the price file, then from that point, you still have 5 years of warranty on our business products. So you have at least 5 years, yes, and for the most of the products, even more, and in theory that it will be 7 or 8. So it's quite long time we offer you the warranty on our product. Then we go back on the left-hand side, post-sales support campus. We serve our customers globally. We have different support campuses in the world. The one where we support Middle East on, we have 2 support campuses. One is in Germany, the other one is in Turkey. That means that we can help you just with 1 hour time difference from our Turkish office, and we can support you from Monday to Friday at the moment. So yes, also on a Friday, because we are focused more on the European support, and we're working very hard to open up support on a Sunday as well, so that we are aligned with your working days. So that's something we are working on very hard to make this happen. If you want to have support, just go to support.zyxel.eu, and then you can find all the ways how to get support from us. That can be by chat or by email, or we can have a phone call and we can do remote access to your solution to help you out. This all is free of charge, so there is no extra payment needed or a SKU needed to get this free support from our support campus. Then we go to the right hand side in the blue, the pre-sales support and guidance. I'm part of that team. I can help you to support you on your project, to select the right product on your project. Of course, our people at the distributor, but also our local people are very knowledgeable and can help you out. But if it's getting a little bit more complicated, then they can get back to me and help them out to give the right product list to them. So then we go to the left-hand side, regional presence. As I said, we are a global company, and we're trying to be as close to the customer as possible. So we have our office in Dubai that is responsible for the Middle East region. So that's our nearest office to you guys as a reseller. We are always there to help you out on pricing, on products, to serve you on winning your project. Then on the other end, free webinars. This is one of them. We're trying to do more and more. You can always find them on the Zyxel website. So if you go there, then you can find the announcement there, or you'll get invitations like you got from the distributor this week to anticipate on this one, so that you are prepared and know what's upcoming. So then partner program is something that's initiated in Europe, but it's not finalized for the Middle East region yet. We are working very hard on this. We expect this to happen hopefully end of the year, maybe beginning 2020, to have the partner program ready for you as a customer. That means that you can subscribe to us as a partner, and then you can get directly information from the vendor in your mailbox, and probably get some other advantages as well. But yeah, we are working on that to finalize that. Then the last thing I want to highlight is the deployment guides on the down left side. If you are a technical engineer or you are helping out to do the installations, then probably you need some technical assistance. For this, you can visit our FTP site. That's the most convenient, ftp.zyxel.com. There, if you go there, then you see a folder list of all our current products that are available. And if you click on the folder, you can find all kinds of technical information regarding our products. So please have a look after the webinar to see what's available there. You find firmware versions there, the latest one. Those are free available for us as a vendor. We don't let you pay for any firmware updates. So the firmware updates are always free of charge. So you can get them from our FTP site, but also we provide you handbooks with a lot of application scenarios. You can copy paste to your appliance of the customer. So as I said, Zyxel is a complete network vendor with all kinds of products we have in there. Yeah, security appliance, wireless LAN switches, gateway, and also the management is there. So for today, we focus on the wireless part on this. And as you know, wireless is getting more and more important by the day. Yeah, we figured out that probably 85 times a day we are watching our phone, yeah, on our status, because we have some messages there. So that's quite a lot. That equals approximately 5 hours a day. And always we rely on our smartphone to get the information there. And we think, yeah, that it will increase very quickly, that the connections are being done. Over 2020, we think, yeah, over 20 billion devices are connected to the internet. So it's not only the iPads and the smartphones, but also a lot of IoT devices that will be connected to the internet as well and rely on that connection. And if we look at the verticals where we use the wireless, yeah, in hospitals, in cafes, in restaurants, in warehouses, in education, retail, you can see wireless everywhere. Yeah, and everyone expects to have wireless everywhere. And that's why we from Zyxel are really focusing on how to service the wireless to the people that working in that environment, but also to the people that are guests of this environment. So we have different management types in this. I will show you later. But before we go into that, I will highlight some technical things that is really important to understand why we have such a large product line on wireless. Feel free to, if you have any questions, to put the question on chat. I can answer that within the webinar immediately. So some technical stuff. If we go to the access points, you see that in the data sheets, that we talk about 2 by 2 or 3 by 3, and yeah, at the end, what does it mean? Yeah, the relationship in the numbers, it's most of the time related to price, because the more numbers, the higher the numbers, the higher the price. That means that we highlight the number of antennas that are on the access point available. So 2 by 2 means there are 2 antennas to receive, 2 antennas to send data. And 3 by 3 means 3 to send, 3 to receive. So the more antennas, the more capacity we have on the access point. It's not only capacity, but also performance of the access points. So, and if you look at performance, then you have to be aware that if you buy a 3 by 3 access point, that is most common nowadays, that you can achieve a throughput of over 1 gig per second on the wire. But if you test it, then make sure that your device where you're testing it on has also 3 antennas, because only when it's aligned you have the maximum performance. So for instance, if you are going to test, let's say with an iPhone 8, yeah, it's not the latest one, but it's quite new. This device has only 1 by 1 antenna. So if you test with that smartphone, you will see you will never reach that 1 gigabyte. Yeah, it's not there because the limitation is your iPhone with just 1 antenna. So if you want to see the maximum performance, make sure that your device has 3 by 3. At the moment, there's only one vendor that offers a laptop by default with 3 by 3 antenna, and that's Apple with the MacBook Pro. So that's the only vendor that has this capability by default. Other vendors can have this as well, like HP or Acer or other major brands, but it's most of the time an upgrade. Yeah, most of the devices have a 2 by 2. 2 by 2 is a very good performance, don't get me wrong, but it will not get you the maximum performance. So that's something you need to know to understand what the antennas will do in relation to performance of your Wi-Fi and what to expect. So then we have another term I want to highlight. Our latest technology is AC Wave 2. And this means that with this new technology, we can get an extra 15% of throughput with this new technology. Another technology that we introduced in this is multi-user MIMO. And multi-user MIMO, it's a feature that comes with AC Wave 2 and higher, but all other access points that don't have this new technology, they're all single user MIMO. And to show you the difference, this is single user MIMO. So that means that each device is being handled in sequence. So 1 by 1. Yeah, so there can only be 1 connection to each device. So the other device has to wait till it's his turn again. So to speed this up, we created multi-user MIMO, and with multi-user MIMO, we can get simultaneous transfers to all the devices at the same time. So in theory, we can increase our performance up to 300% technically, because if only one client does not support the AC Wave 2 multi-MIMO, it will fall down to the single user MIMO standard. So then you're not benefiting from this. So make sure and check your devices, check your clients if they are ready for AC Wave 2 multi-user MIMO to get this additional performance. So Another technical thing, and that's really important to know because that's a differentiator for us, Zyxel, to other manufacturers, is that we use smart antenna. And smart antenna, that means that we are not using the traditional omni antennas you see sometimes physically on the device, but we use electronic antennas. And the big benefit for this is that you have more coverage and you can handle more clients per access point. To understand the working of this smart antenna, I will show you some challenges, because probably if you are selling Wi-Fi, you probably have experienced probably one of these 5 items. So if you are in a high density environment, adding a new AP doesn't improve the performance. Yeah. So what happens? You're calculating, and then you think, the AP is overloaded. So if I put another AP in the area, it will help and spread the load to other APs. And it will, but at the end, you check on it and it doesn't perform as you are expecting. And it is the same with the other 4 examples that I show here. And the question is, why doesn't it work like this? Just adding an extra AP to help you on more connections to your customers. To understand this, I have to explain a little bit about the technology behind it. Yeah, the signals we send out from the access points. So if we go way back, yeah, we started off putting the Wi-Fi in the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum. Probably you know that currently today we have access points that are dual radio. That means that we both support the 2.4 gigahertz as the 5 gigahertz. The 2.4 gigahertz is the first one that was made available. But because of a lot of interference with other products like Bluetooth or other wireless devices, we were looking for an other band that is more clear to use for the Wi-Fi. So originally we started off with the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, and then we always advise customers to use channel 1, 6, and 11 because those 3 channels were non-overlapping. Yeah, so if you're broadcasting in 1 and your neighbor in 6, then you were all clear and there was no interference between you and your neighbor. Only this is 20-year-old technology, yeah, and we're not using that anymore. But originally, when this was improving, then people are getting into more channels and was more overlapping. So the solution was to go to the 5 gigahertz spectrum. And instead of having 3 channels that are non-overlapping, we suddenly have 19 channels non-overlapping. Yeah, that was a big improvement, much more performance. The only disadvantage that our coverage was a little bit less than a 2.4, but the quality of the signal and the experience was much more better. The only thing, this standard in the 20 megahertz band will only give you 50 megabytes per second. And for today, yeah, that's not enough by far. So in the meanwhile, we developed new standards. The N standard came along, and what we did, we combined the channels. So instead of a 1-lane motorway, we created a 2-lane motorway to improve the speeds. But the only disadvantage is that we decreased the number of non-overlapping channels from 19 to 9. Yeah, but it's still fine. We can deploy all the access points in the different channels without any overlap. So that was good. but N is still not our current standard. Yeah, the majority of people are working in the AC standard, and the AC standard will change the two-lane motorway to a four-lane motorway. And again, the performance increased, and that was good. Only the number of channels that are non-overlapping decreased from 9 to 4. And this is almost the same as where we started, let's say 20 years ago, with the 2.4 gigahertz, with the 3 channels that were only available. And the next generation, it's AC Wave 2. You have only 2 channels that are non-overlapping. So if you want to do a deployment of access points, what channel you need to pick? Yeah, because if all the access points have the same channel, then they will have co-channel interference. And that's the issue what we have if we just put in more and more access points closer together, we get co-channel interference. So how does it look like? Yeah, it's like a motorway. Yeah, I already used that example, the motorway. What you can see is that 2 access points come together, and then on the edge, yeah, the cars are getting collisions. And collisions means performance decrease because the packet needs to be sent again and again and again. So the performance will reduce. So we need to take care of this co-channel interference. And in how does this look like with antennas? This is an example. We have 2 access points close together sending out their signal, and you see in the middle there's an overlapping of radio signals. So there all the collisions will happen. So how are we going to deal with this on this collision? Yeah, one way of doing this is turn down the power. Yeah, we turn down the power and we have no collision. Sounds like a good idea. Only if I was standing there with my smartphone in the middle, I had no signal at all. So this is not the solution to turn down the power. So the solution to this is smart antenna. And smart antenna give you 4 benefits. It will increase the capacity, so there can be more connections to the same radio. You get an increase of coverage, and you get a reduction of the interference that you have with other signals. Oh, and by the way, it's also a more green solution. Yeah, so that's what we are providing. And how does this look like? Yeah, in practice. And then I show you this. Yeah, on the left hand side you see a traditional access point sending out the signal in 360 degrees. Yeah, as an omnidirectional antenna. But it would be more nice if your device is being served with the full amount of power from your access points. So, for example, if I stand with my smartphone again on the right hand side of the access points, then on the directional antenna on the right hand side, I have a dedicated beam directing to my device. So all the power is directed to my smartphone. So how does it look like on the smart antenna device? So I put the smart antenna device in the middle and an adjacent device and the opposite of the Wi-Fi client. It can be also an access point in the same channel. Yeah. So what happens if you're coming in as a Wi-Fi client? Yeah, they're creating a special antenna pattern for you as a client. And then you see that at the back, there is no interference of your signal. And the signal is completely for you as a client. And when you're moving around as a client, yeah, that's also no problem because the pattern is moving with your device. Yeah. And we have over 700 patterns we can offer to this client. So every time when the device is moving, it will move with the client. So how does it look like in in real life. Yeah. So we did a performance test. In this case, this is our auditorium in Zyxel headquarters. And you see on the floor plan on the left-hand side, you see the AP mounted on the wall. And we have 4 measure points. Yeah, measure point P1 at the opposite, P2 just around the corner in the corridor. We have P3 in the middle of the corridor, and we have P4 in the auditorium. Yeah, and that's over 30 meters away from the original AP. So if we test this, the performance, we did a test with other brands that are known in the market, and we didn't select just random one. Yeah, we select the most high-end products that are available in the market. So like Ruckus, like Cisco, like Aruba HP. Yeah, we put our product, our WAG 6503 in this case, against these products. And what you see that when we are nearby, that we are not having the same performance as the Aruba one. But the farther away we come from the AP, our performance is outperforming all other products. And then you might say, oh, this is a 2.4. We're not using 2.4. So we did the test on 5 gigahertz as well. And again, yeah, and nearby, we are not the highest, don't have the highest performance. But as you move farther away from the AP, the performance is decreasing rapidly on all devices. But on P4, and if we zoom in on P4, yeah, we see that on P4, all other brands are failing. There's no signal available anymore. Only the Zyxel product is still performing with a 16 megabits per second throughput on the device. And that's a good performance on this distance. So you might say, yeah, you tested yourself, so yeah, you might can tweak things. So, but we saw that an independent university in Europe, in Italy, did a similar test on smart antenna and also on co-channel interference. This research is publicly on the link. You can write it down and see the technical background on this. And we used our Zyxel product with the HP Aruba product, with the Ruckus and the Cisco product. The Ruckus has the same kind of technology, also the smart antenna one. The HP Aruba and the Cisco rely on traditional antennas. But those are their high-end antennas. And their conclusion of that university is that we did 70% better in co-channel interference against the other APs. Yeah, we did even 56% better coverage compared to the Cisco. Yeah, and yes, we also were 45% better than the other smart antenna vendor like Ruckus. So our software is much smarter on this to help you on serving a better signal to your customer. So this is the inside of our product, and why I'll show you this is to emphasize on the quality we do. Because if you buy in most of our other cheap brands, you don't see this kind of electronics in the product. And the reason why we have very high-end PCBs in there is because we want to reduce the noise. And the noise, that means that's the noise that you get from the chips itself on the board. And to reduce that, we encapsulate it in metal, so there is no noise on the PCB anymore. So then the signal that we can get back from our clients, our smartphones and our tablets, can be more clear and can be received much more better, because the APs are strong enough to send out the signal, but the mobile phones and the tablets today we have cannot send in the same signal strength back. We could do this, but then you have to recharge your mobile phone probably every 10 minutes. Yeah, so and that's not doable. So that's why the manufacturers of the mobile phones and the tablets reduced the output power so that you have a longer battery life. But then for the access points, it needs to listen more carefully because the signal is not as strong as from another access point. So that's the quality we have in our product. So let's go to our products. What do we have to offer? Yeah, I talked now about the technology and highlighted some aspects of this, why to choose the Zyxel product. But let's talk about our product. These are our flex products. The flex product, that means that you can use these standalone or manage them out of our platform. So there are dual firmware. If you go from left to right, it's a 1123 AC V2. It's a 2x2 access point, dual radio, a single user MIMO, and can have a maximum of 128 associations. That means associations means that the device is connected, but it's not sending out a lot of data. If you want to calculate on the number of people that are physically using the data stream as well, then you have to calculate on this particular device to a maximum of 30 to 35 clients per radio. So that's in practice. If you want to have more performance, then you can move up the scale. Yeah, the 1123 AC Pro is not 2x2 but 3x3. You immediately see that the speed is coming up, and can also have more associations. Then the 1123 AC HD. This is the new AC Wave 2 technology with the multi-user MIMO. So that's our flagship in this range. And then we have our NWA 1302 AC. This is a product that is especially for hospitality made. That means that you can run one wire to your room, and on that wire you can deploy the Wi-Fi on the access point itself, but the access point itself has also 3 additional Ethernet connections. One of them is even PoE enabled, so you can put a SIP IP phone on that one, and the other 2 are still available. You can use one for IPTV, for instance. Yeah, so that's the one you put in the room. Products that you put in the corridor or is most of the time we put in 1123 AC V2 or AC Pro, depending on if it's wall or ceiling mounted. As I said, this product line is dual firmware. We have also products, Nebula products. These are only manageable from our platform. So it's not cannot be managed standalone. Then we have our business class access points. These business class access points can be managed standalone, but also can be managed from a controller. We have dedicated Wi-Fi controllers. I have some pictures later on, but we also can manage these access points out of our firewalls. So if you are buying our VPN product or our USG or ATP product, a Wi-Fi controller is included in that product, and you can manage these ones as well. So in this category, we have 5123 AC, 5123 AC HD, and the 5302 DS. Those are quite similar with the 1123 series I showed you before. Yeah, then we have our enterprise class products, our 6300 and 500 series. These are our flagship products. The 63 is 2x2 on the 2.4 and 3x3 on the 5 gigahertz, but is multi-user MIMO and smart antenna. And we have another product, the 6500 series, that's also smart antenna, and it's fully 3x3 on both radios. Then on the right hand side we have two outdoor products. The 52, it's 2x2 but smart antenna, and on the 53 you can use antennas how you like it. You can do omni or directional antennas as you like on this one. The 53 doesn't come with antennas in the box. You need to buy them separately. Yeah, those two products are especially designed if you want to have outdoor Wi-Fi. Yeah, if you run a hotel and you want to have Wi-Fi on the pool, yeah, look at these products. You can use outdoor, and they are protected against all kinds of weather conditions. So as I said, wireless, we can do centralized controllers. As I said, on the VPN, on the USG, on the ATP, we offer out of the box 2 to 4 access point licenses you can put on, and you can add the numbers while having additional licenses to these products. Even if you want to do device HA, so if you want to do a failover, then also these products can be helpful to give you this opportunity. So buy two of the same products, and then you can have a link between them, and if the primary is failing, the backup unit is automatically recovering your internet connections, and also keep on managing your Wi-Fi clients. So these are routers with Wi-Fi controller. We have also dedicated Wi-Fi controller, NXC 2500. This one is a small one with a license of 8 access points that can be expanded to 64. If you want to have a larger deployment, we have NXC 5500 that starts with 64 licenses for AP connections, but it can be expanded to 1024. So this is our Wi-Fi product portfolio that's mainly based on on-premise configuration. So you need to be at the customer site to configure these products. But we have a new product that you can manage remotely and can install remotely. And this technology we call Nebula. And with Nebula, we are creating a platform that will probably reduce a lot of time and costs in your normal deployment. And to show this to you, I made an example to the traditional way of deploying our network and how we can do it with Nebula. So you see at the bottom, the investment in man hours and the investment in infrastructure, the cost of this. And while we are installing or creating this network for the customers, we are seeing some costs and man hours involved. And first, we buy the product, of course. Yeah, and the maintenance contracts, that's the first one we need to get in. When the products are being purchased, then we're going to install the equipment on site at the customer site. Probably we want to monitor this as well, yeah, because if there's a failure coming up, then you want to be helpful to your customer and say, customer, there's something failing, how can I help you? Can we solve it for you? So monitoring could be one of the additional features you want to have in place as well. But probably you also want to access the equipment that's located at your customer site. Yeah, by VPN or by MPLS, it's something probably you want to have there as well. And maybe on your monitoring platform, you want to store all this, and you need some software for this. It can be paid or open source like SolarWinds or other software packages you can use for this. So you can collect all this data, and this data needs to be stored as well, of course. And you see down the way, you have to put in more man hours and more costs to get this implemented. And then, of course, you have to deal with the complex updates, because when are you doing all the updates of all your devices? Yeah, are you doing this manually? This is really time consuming. And of course, at the end, you have to do the user and device management. Yeah, so these are the 8 building blocks, how we see how a network is being built up. And we think with Nebula, you can save on a big amount of these parts. So if we take this into Nebula and you see that the man hours and costs are very high on this, in Nebula, of course, we need to purchase equipment. That's the same. Yeah, you need to connect to something. So that's an investment that's quite similar. And of course, you need some people to install it, to put it in place. Yeah, you put it in a room or in the corridor or whatever, you need to install it. So that remains the same as the traditional installation. But then you want to monitoring access, creating a monitoring platform and doing data storage and do the software updates, and that we combined in one solution, and that's we called Nebula. And Nebula is a platform that you get free of charge when you buy in products that support this platform. So also the updates are being done, but of course the additional cost, of course there's some additional cost to do the user and device management. But at the end, you see that the number of man hours and the cost involved is much lower than in a traditional way. So how do we do this? Yeah, so that's therefore we have our Nebula Control Center. And how easy it is, I can show you in this slide. Yeah, you just plug in the devices, you register the device, and the device automatically appears on your platform. And it already starts with getting the product in the box. So when you are installing the network or you want to configure the network, you can already start configuring without taking products out of the box. What you can do, you can scan the QR code that is on outside of the box, and you can put all your devices on your inventory. And from your inventory, you can build up the configuration already. So that means that the configuration is already being set without the products are being sent to the customer yet. So what happens if the customer unpacks it and you plug it in, that automatically the configuration is being provisioned to your devices. And then you're up and running in minutes. And that's really simple. And do I need special hardware or software for this? Yes, you need a laptop or a device with internet access and a browser. That's the only thing you need. Yeah, you don't need a cloud key or any other device in the middle. No, all devices are connecting directly to our platform. The biggest benefit is that you can access this platform from all over the place. So if you have an internet connection, yes, you can monitor, you can configure the customer side from remote. And yes, even from your mobile. Yeah, we have a mobile application that can do this, where you can see the status of your customer. And that's really simple because the product is multi-tenant. Multi-tenant means that you as a reseller can be the manager on all different organizations. Yeah, how does it look like? I log in with my account and I see all the organizations that I have access to. Maybe you are the admin, yet responsible for the configuration. Maybe you may only watch and see what's happening at the customer side, but you see all those organizations when you log in. When you need more information on the organization, what's there, you just click on the organizations and then you see the organization view. That means that in the organization you can have multiple sites. Yeah, you have an hotel chain or another chain with a head office and some branch offices, and then you see all the branch offices in here as well. You know? And if you just click on one of the branches, then you see what kind of equipment is installed in that branch. Yeah, you see the number of access points, the number of switches, the number of gateways that are available in this branch. Most of our customers are using this platform for their Wi-Fi, but of course, if you have the products available for switches and gateway as well that are available for this platform as well, then you can have this visible as well. And yes, we have a captive portal in there for your guest access, because yeah, we think that it's important that we offer this this solution, and also this is free of charge within the platform. So then you might think, okay, what kind of platform you are working with? And yes, we are working with the cloud, but Nebula is stored on a good cloud. It is on Amazon, on AWS. So it's really reliable, and a lot of other brands are using this as well. Yeah. So you see there Netflix, BMW, all of those major brands are using the facility of AWS. So, and maybe you are a little bit worried about using the cloud, but probably if I offered you a BMW series out of the 5 or 7 series, all those models are being monitored in the cloud, and all the information is stored on AWS. But will this withhold you to buy a nice BMW? I don't think so. Yeah, so if those guys are really trustworthy and are familiar with this, then yeah, why shouldn't Zyxel not use this kind of platform? So how do we connect? We connect our gateway or our switch or our Wi-Fi directly to the hosted service. And yes, this is secured. Yeah, we're using certificates on all our products, so all the connections are secure. And to show you on all the certificates we have, this is an overview of all those certificates we have. Yeah. To show you how this works, we have a term called Nebula Flex. That means that we have products that can work in 2 or sometimes in Nebula Flex Pro in 3 modes. Not simultaneously, but you can choose. So if you buy a Nebula Flex product, for instance, it's a standalone product. You can manage them standalone, go in there and configuring on the web browser and use it like this. But if you are opening an account on our platform that's free of charge, and you put the serial number and the MAC address in, then this product will automatically reboot and will reconnect to our hosted service. For Nebula Flex Pro, it's a more high-end feature, because on Nebula Flex Pro products we don't have 2 firmware versions or 2. It's not dual mode, but we offer triple mode. That means that the devices are can be run in standalone mode, or can be managed by a controller like the VPN series or the USG or the ATP series, but also can run into Nebula. And we're not pushing anyone to move to this Nebula cloud thing. If you want to do standalone, then it's standalone. If you want to do controller, but we give you an opportunity to use the free clouds as you want. So what kind of products you can see? I already show some the wireless products that are capable of doing this. To complete this platform, we have also switches. We have 2 series, GS1920, GS1930. Those are the new switches that have dual capability, and we also have the dedicated one, the NSW series, that are dedicated for our Nebula platform. So the overview is like this, that the NSW series only run in Nebula, but the GS and the XGS series can run in both modes. For the access points, we recently gave out free firmware updates for those two models, because originally they can only be handled standalone and on controller mode. We gave a free firmware upgrade to give you the opportunity to move these products into Nebula as well. So this is the overview of all our access points that are capable of putting into Nebula. You see the NAB products, they are dedicated Nebula, but all the NWA series, the 1123, 1302, and the 5123 and 6303 are now also capable of moving into the cloud platform. And from June, we do another free upgrade for the other 6 models. Those models are existing also quite some time already, and we also give those users the opportunity to select whatever they want. Go standalone, controller mode, or move into our platform. So that's the wireless part. Then to complete this, we have also gateways on this Energy 50, 100, and 200, and for more performance and more connections, we have Energy 300. So this is the overview we have in this. As you see that some of those devices have the possibility to have additional licenses. And that means that by default, the product is free of charge and you can use this license free. And we think that 90% of your customers can use this license free solution. But in some occasions, when you need maybe some enterprise features or some more sophisticated features, that we don't provide in our license-free version, we have an additional professional pack that needs to be purchased on this. This can be an annual thing on the professional pack, or we can have the professional pack as a lifetime license. So then it's a one-time purchase, and then you can have this products in the professional version as long as you want. So how does it look like? The bolt-ons, the Nebula free, so the most of the features are in there. The fully support is there, the captive portal is in there, automatic firmware updates are there, with the remote mobile client you can go in there. But if you need longer information on a longer term, because in the free version we only collect data for 7 days, if you want to do some analysis on your site, then you might consider using the professional pack, because then we are collecting data over a year, but with that amount of data we can give a better analysis on and a better report to your customer. And then for our security products, our NSG series, we have an annually security pack to give you the antivirus, IDP, and content filtering protection. So these are the options you can buy from. So you can go all Nebula free. You can choose for Nebula free with our gateways and use the security pack, but also Nebula with professional pack or professional pack and security. That can be used in a mix as long as you keep it in one organization. To show you how we build our Wi-Fi solutions in hospitality, I will have some deployment examples that I want to show. The solutions we have here are 3 solutions we've done. This is the World Trade Center in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands, in Europe. Rotterdam is the biggest harbor of Europe. And on the World Trade Center, annually we get all the marathon people in there that can registrate their participants on the marathon. But as you see, it's also a convention center where there's a lot of activity with hospitality in there, and you see that a lot of people are coming in and out of this this environment. So what did we do? Yeah, we put in quite some access points, but the access points we used, especially in this environment, are smart antenna products. Why smart antenna products? Because we are working in a high density environment. Yeah, and the high density environment, you can see here in the picture, it's a big hole there where you can have a lot of people walking in there, and they all want to be connected. And so what we did, we put in this area 10 access points, and then we can cover over 1,000 simultaneous connections just in this area to get people connected to the Wi-Fi. The reason for this facility to choose for Zyxel is that we are very flexible in setting up the Wi-Fi. For instance, if they have some specific event, then they can create really easy an additional SSID, an extra network that's dedicated for that show, for that event. So that's why they choose for Zyxel as a product. A lot of schools are using this as well. Locally, there is a network called EduRoam. This is a student network that is a European student network, and also they provide this authentication during student shows in this environment. So smart antenna was really key for this solution. Then we have another solution from London in the UK, also in Europe, where we did the Troxy. The Troxy is a concert hall where we have live events there, and what the purpose here was is they want to create engagement from the audience on social media, so that people that are looking at the concert, that they have Wi-Fi access to publish how great the show is through Facebook or other social media applications. And that's what the purpose of this Wi-Fi network was. And also the flexibility in the network control was also key while they were selecting our products. So then the last example that I like to show, it's a big tour operator, originally a Turkish tour operator that's expanding in Europe, and they opened up the largest hotel in the Benelux region. This is close to Amsterdam Airport. And we did a full wireless deployment in this hospitality area. And to show this, I created a video, and I would like to show the video now. Directly after the video, we have the opportunity to have a Q&A. So if people like to ask some questions, then you can open up your microphone and we can have a small talk after the video. The video is just a few minutes, and I will show you this now. Okay, so this will conclude the webinar for today. Before I close off, I would like to give you the opportunity to, if you have some questions, please unmute yourself and then we can have a quick chat, or use the chat function. If the audio is not working, then we can use the chat as well. So if there's anyone, I can't hear anyone or see anyone unmuting him or herself. Could be voice, otherwise take the opportunity to use the chat if you have any questions. If it's correct, then yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. يعني it was, let's say, fruitful, but seems that the chat is disabled. We couldn't send you something for thanking you. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay, no problem. I hope it was enlightening and that you saw some specific highlights of our products that can help you in the deployment of your of projects to your customers. So thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. Especially for the smart antenna, it was really something innovative,
Okay, yeah.
and for sure it will take place somewhere.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and if you need something to test or whatever you want to check on how things are working, just get in contact with the distributor and they can help you out with some with a test sample if necessary, and they can ask it from our office. So if that's something that can help you out on this product, yeah, just get in contact with them to provide you this. No problem.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Is there anyone else? Okay, then I will close off this webinar. This webinar is also being recorded, so later on it's a possibility to see this recording again. We put it on YouTube, and we will provide you a link where you can check on it if you want. Thank you again. Apologies again for the delay and how we started off, but I hope that it was very helpful for you and for your business. Thanks a lot, and hopefully see you next time. Bye-bye.